Androcles and the Lion. Androcles was a slave who lived many, many years ago in the city of Rome. His master was very harsh and often treated him cruelly. At last, Androcles decided to run away, and with the help of some other slaves, he made his way over the sea into another country. Even there, he was not safe and had to live in the deep woods far from the homes of men. One day, while hunting, Androcles found a cave in the side of a mountain. It did not take him long to decide to make the cave his home. It will be much better than sleeping under the trees, he thought. At once, Androcles began to gather armful after armful of dried grass which he carried into the cave for his bed. Now it happened that a lion had also chosen this cave for his den. And while Androcles was making his bed, the lion walked in at the door. Androcles felt sure that the lion would kill him, for he saw no way to escape. But the lion did not seem angry or eager to do Androcles any harm. Instead, he held out his huge paw as if he had been hurt. Androcles saw that the paw was very red and swollen. He knew that the lion was in great pain. The lion looked at him as if he would say, "Help me, help me." As the lion held out his paw, Androcles saw a great thorn sticking in it. "You poor beast," said the brave man. Then, coming up to the lion, he took the hold of the thorn with his fingers and pulled it out as gently as he could. You may be sure that the lion was very glad to have the thorn out of his aching foot. And ever after, he and Androcles were the best of friends. They lived in the cave together for a long time and shared each other's food. One day, as Androcles was walking through the wood, he met some hunters who knew at once that he was a runaway slave. A reward was always given for bringing back a runaway slave. So they took Androcles captive. They tied his hands behind him and sent him to his master, who put him in prison. The Roman people used to have a great theatre. Instead of having plays at the theatre, they had fights between men armed with swords or between man and wild beasts. Thousands of people would come to see the fights. Sometimes a slave who had run away from his master was made to fight with a lion or a tiger or some other wild animals. Now it happened that Androcles had been chosen to fight a huge lion. While great crowds of Roman people were looking on, the lion came out of his cage, roaring and showing his sharp teeth. Androcles stood bravely facing him. As the lion came near Androcles, he stopped his growling, crouched at the slave's feet, and began to lick his hand. Androcles threw his arms about the lion's neck and hugged him. It was the very same lion with whom he had lived in the cave. The Roman people shouted in wonder. Such a sight had never been seen before. They called to Androcles to explain how he had tamed the lion. Then he told them how he had helped the lion and how they had lived together in the cave. When they had heard this story, the people of Rome demanded that Androcles be set free and that he should no longer be held a slave. They also ordered that the lion should be given to him for his own. So Androcles was made a free man. He and his friend might often be seen walking through the streets of Rome, the lion following at his heels like a great dog.